my name's Sarah and I work for Hobbycraft Bournemouth. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make accessories for a kid's fancy dress cat costume. For this project you are going to need a cat mache mask, a few paintbrushes, some acrylic paint in black, white and pink, a sheet of black felt, a sheet of white self-adhesive felt, some hat elastic in black, a large safety pin, a craft pick or a sharp needle and some scissors. The first thing we need to do is punch the holes on either side to hold the elastic on once it's finished. So from the inside, keeping your fingers well out the way, punch the hole through and then repeat on the other side. Now we can start painting our cat. So we're going to start with the lightest colours, the white and the pink, and we need to do the ear details, the nose and then the white muzzle underneath. I'm going to start with the white and applying it straight to the mache mask. I'm using art acrylic paint as it's slightly thicker and gives a better coverage. You can use poster paint or craft acrylic, but you may need to do more than one coat. Once you're happy with the white areas, you can then move on to the pink. I'm going to use a slightly smaller paintbrush this time and start up with the ears and then down onto the nose. So that's the basic features of the cat, and we need to wait for that to dry and then move on to the black. This time I'm going to apply it directly to the mask and then just start smoothing it out all over, obviously avoiding the areas we've already painted. Once you finish painting the mask, you need to pop it to one side and allow it to dry. Now that the paint is dried, we can start adding some extra details on top. I'm going to add some whiskery bits on either side and then a little bit of shading on the actual face itself. So I need to go back to my white acrylic paint. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit on my work surface and using the same brush from earlier, just load it up and then just start flicking up. So keep the brush relatively dry and just feather the lines away and have the lines longer towards the outside edge of the mask. And just try and keep everything quite symmetrical. Once you're happy with the whiskers down the front, we're going to start adding some shading along the rest of the face. So we're using the same paintbrush still and the white paint we've already got, and just need a tiny little bit of the black. And then we just need to mix up quite a light grey. Again, I haven't washed my brush to keep it quite nice and dry, and then you can just start dry brushing on areas of the face. And once you're happy with all your shading and tones on the face, you need to let that dry completely, which may take a couple of hours depending how thickly you've applied the paint. So we need to measure out enough of the hat elastic to comfortably go around the back of our head and attach into the mask. Take the hat elastic and thread it through the hole from the outside of the mask, and then pull a relatively long tail, and we need to work a knot into this. So create a loop and bring the tail up through, pull it tight, and then just do a second one of these over the top of the knot we've just done. And then pull the other end, making sure it won't go back through the hole. Then we take the other end of our elastic and thread it back through, and then we knot in the same way, creating the loop and bringing the tail up through nice and tight, and a second one over the top. For extra security, you can add a little bit of sticky tape over the knots just to keep them in place when the children are wearing it. And that's our finished cat mask. Next we are going to go on to making a simple felt tail. So I'm going to take the sheet of black felt, and we need to cut a long, slightly tapered rectangle from corner to corner, getting the full length of the sheet. I'm going to use a big pair of quite sharp scissors, so this may be a job for an adult. Next we need to take the self-adhesive white felt and lay the end of the tail over it. We need to cut two rectangles, just slightly wider than the tail and slightly longer. Next, peel the self-adhesive backing off one of the pieces of felt and lay this on the table, and then place our tail towards the top side so that we've only got it barely halfway into the felt. Then we take our second piece, and now all of the sticky bits should be enclosed. Next, we need to create a zigzag edge to represent the fur on the end of the tail. To do this, I'm going to use the backing from one of my pieces of felt, fold it in half lengthways, and just draw my design. Next, we need to cut round this template. And once you're happy with it, you can use the Sharpie just to draw around the template onto the felt now. Once you've cut round your whole design, you can go back and neaten up any edges you need to and trim away any areas where your pen still remains. Once you're happy with the design of your cat's tail, you can then use a safety pin to attach it to the back of a child's t-shirt or trousers. And that's our finished cat tail. So just to recap, we've made a mache fancy dress cat mask and a felt tail. For any more information about the products I've used, visit our website or pop into store to speak to one of our colleagues.